Hey guys, how's it going? So in today's video, I want to talk about AMD, how I believe AMD could go to $50 by 2020. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment purposes. I thought it'd be more entertaining if I used the word $50. There's a chance it may not even hit $50, but I know AMD pretty well. So, I'm thinking there is a chance it could hit $50, but there is certainly risks, and I will talk about the risk. But, I'm going to put a disclaimer because this is, risky. AMD is a risky stock. The stock has been going up quite a bit lately, so it could fall any minute, but the lower it falls, the less risky it becomes, in my opinion. Just my opinion, not financial advisor. So let's look at AMD chart. Right now AMD is telling me that the MACD is telling me that it's slightly downtrending, but it could reverse itself. They have earnings coming up on April 23rd. So that's like next week, between April 23rd to April 29th, they will be having the earnings report. So that could change the segment, but that could also crash the stock to $20 too. If it does crash to $20, that would make it a killer opportunity, in my opinion. I would definitely be buying into AMD if the stock went to $20, because no, it depends. It depends. It depends on the news that caused AMD stock to go down to $20. What's in the investor relations, what they talk about, why AMD stock went to $20. That is a big factor and reasoning for me to be buying into AMD. Maybe I'm thinking that investors sold off on something stupid and I think it's just a buying opportunity, or maybe it's something that's really bad in the company that like maybe the company could go bankrupt or something really drastic. Then I would definitely stay away from AMD. But I don't think something really bad is gonna happen. If something really bad was gonna happen, they would have pre-announced it already. At least I think they would. I'm not 100% sure. But you never know with these things. So we'll see what happens in the future. And there are 5 things AMD needs to do in order to really to go to $50, in my opinion. Number 1 is they have to take 20% of Intel market server share, or feel like they are stealing. Like, analysts are predicting that AMD might steal 20% of Intel server market share. That if there's articles, like if there's bull articles out there that say that AMD is stealing 10% and is projected to steal 20% of Intel server market share by 2021. If there's an article like that, that would really help AMD stock go up. Take back market share in GPU space, with the new Navi architecture, change in consumer segment and get consumers to buy AMD GPUs instead of NVIDIA GPU. I don't think NVIDIA is very competitive, so that's going to be very hard for AMD to do, but they do have a chance because they do have a new architecture that's coming out that nobody knows too much information about, but I will be sharing that in the video. The stock market does not crash. That's a big one. I'm thinking that in 2019 there's gonna be a big downtrend. There's gonna be some volatility near the end of the year, but I think Donald Trump's gonna step in to save the market. And I think if Donald Trump loses the president election, I think the stock market will crash. If Donald Trump wins the wins the presidential election, I think the stock market still might crash, because why would Donald Trump might not care anymore to keep the market up if he's president for the next 4 years, or he could tell the banks to keep buying the stock market if it dips. He could just keep telling them to do that. I don't know his plans if he becomes president again. But he's saying that the election is the stock market is what's going to cause him to win the next presidential election. So that's just my 2 cents on that. The next generation console, PS5 and the Xbox 2 does very well. I think the PS5 will do very well. I don't know if the Xbox 2 will do very well, but I think the PS5 will do very well. AMD destroys Intel in the CPU market share. So when Zen 2 comes out, then I will be explaining that. But when Zen 2 comes out, if they can steal a lot of Intel market server share, right now they're stealing about 50%. So if let's say if they steal a 70% market share from Intel, and bold articles are coming out and saying that Intel is getting destroyed in the CPU market share, that would really help in AMD stock go up a lot, in my opinion. So let's look at the Ryzen CPU, right? Ryzen is very competitive. They're coming out with a 6-core 12th thread. This is only rumors. This is not official. But they're coming out with a 6-core 12 threads for $129. That is very, very competitive. It could be even $100, $99. I heard a 6-core 12 thread. And then they're coming out with, the high-end 16 cores. Apparently, rumor leaked around $400 for a 16-core consumer-grade CPU. For $400. Intel cannot compete with AMD at that price point. They have no way of competing. So AMD would destroy Intel on the high end, and they would destroy Intel on the low end. Intel really needs to do something to save their market share. It's looking really bad for them right now, but it's Intel. They have billions of dollars. They'll find some way to compete with AMD and maybe keep 50% of their market share. But if AMD can destroy Intel and take 70% of the market share, that's not looking too good for Intel. And AMD could really skyrocket. Right now, AMD is, there's report that AMD is already taking 2% of Intel's server market share, and is projected to take about 5% of the CPU at the end of 2019. If AMD can exceed the 5%, if they can go like 10% or 7% or 8% of the Intel CPU server market share, that would really help the stock in 2020, in my opinion. The Navi GPU, it's very competitive. It's the high end for $249. This is actually mid-range. The mid-range card will be competing with the 1080 and the 2070. At least these are leaked rumors, so this is not official, but that is very good. That is a very competitive price point to compete with NVIDIA's high end. And then the PS5, I'm going to talk about it. PS5 is rumored to be coming out late 2020, around November, like Christmas time. I'm definitely going to be buying some PS5s because I want to make a video about it, and I think the PS5 is going to succeed. I think the PS5 is going to be the last PlayStation that's going to come out, in my opinion. So very, very exciting. I can't wait to see the PS5 come out, and I can't wait to buy like 10 PS5s. I'm going to be buying and loading up on a bunch of PS5s. Definitely going to be camping them and pre-ordering them when I hear the announcement. PS5 will be confirmed as 8K resolution, backwards compatible with PS4 games. So the PS5 will be an official high-end 4K gaming machine, and it could also do 8K at lower resolution. That's pretty crazy. The PlayStation 5 guts will be used. Will have Ryzen CPU with an 8-core processor. It's going to be using the Zen 2 architecture on a 7nm set of 7nm. That's awesome, and they're going to be using the Navi GPU family, and then it's going to have custom SSD inside the console for super fast loading. So basically, the PS5 will no longer load. Like, humans would not notice the load. Basically, you blink and the loading time will be done. So the days of loading will be completely gone with the PS5, especially once they really tap into the developers really tap into the hardware. PS5 will support 8K the next one. So Sony can launch, Sony launched the PS3 at $499 for the cheapest model, and the sales suffer as a result compared to the Xbox 360. So PS5 could come out at $499, but if they do that, it might lose out. It might really lose out on market share because they failed at $499 before. So there's a really good chance it could launch at $399. Just from the hardware alone, if you were to put a computer together that would match a PS5 in specs, that would be around $1,500, maybe $1,000 if you really stretch a budget. So that's about $1,000 of hardware today, but maybe in the future it could be $900 or $800 when the PS5 actually launches. But right now it would be about $1,200 for the hardware on average, maybe if you really can budget properly to buy a computer. But that's a $1,200 computer right now for a PS5. That's pretty good. And that's actually really good in my opinion. So I think the PS5 is gonna be a beast. I think it's gonna do extremely well, and it might be $400, which would make it an extremely attractive price point, in my opinion. AMD does have risk. Intel could come out with some kind of new architecture and really destroy AMD in the CPU share. We don't know that for sure. They could come out with surprise architecture, or they could find some way to compete with AMD because they have billions of dollars and they have better marketing than AMD. So that is a risk moving forward. And another risk would be AMD's Navi just completely flops and fails and just cannot destroy Nvidia in the server market share. So those are the two risks that could happen in the future that could really tank AMD stock. So there's certainly risk involved with AMD. AMD is a very, very volatile stock, but it could be very rewarding too. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this content. Give me a thumbs up. It helps my channel grow. Subscribe for future updates and have a great day. Bye.